I'm Farhan Dalla, transformational trainer, and welcome to Elevate Your Life, a transformational podcast, an invitation to take the journey towards your deepest self. It is my intention to inspire you to connect, move, and meditate. We'll tap in, tune in, and dive in, and together learn and reflect from authentic, real, and transformative conversations. Let's get started. Hello, everyone. I believe everyone deserves a great love story, and I love a great love story. So I'm going to be sharing that with you today with two lovely gentlemen that I'm going to be speaking to. I think that we all deserve the right to marry whom we want, as long as that's what we choose for ourselves. My guests today have a trailblazing love story that is leading change and impacting the lives of the LGBTQI plus community in India, a country where same-sex marriage is yet to be recognized. And they are also multiple award-winning LGBTQI plus activists. Joining me today from Bangkok, but originally from Pune, India, are husbands Shyam and Ram. Welcome, guys.
Thank you. Thank you for having us at your show.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm super excited about this episode and talk to you both. Congratulations. You two are now husbands. You were both married on June 13th of 2025. So that was just over a month ago. Does it feel like you're still in the honeymoon phase?
It was Pride Month, so I guess we had no honeymoon because we run a not-for-profit. We were working, maybe.
And you still are today, and you agreed to speak with me, even though you're away on a business trip in Bangkok. But I want to ask, was yours the first same-sex marriage in India? Because I don't know of any other.
No, I think there have been same-sex marriages in other parts of India,
Mhm.
but in Pune, we are the first in the place where in the city that we are living.
Excellent. Is there a large queer community in Pune?
Yes, there is a large community in Pune as well. But even if there are previous marriages, I think most of them were very private and it was not out so much in media. Maybe after the marriage, people have told media, but we thought, I think we were the first one to make it public. And uh,
Yeah.
yeah, there have been. I don't want to be like we are the first one to marry in Pune, but it has been very small and kept it secret. Not even many community members know, only their close friends and family know. They have been always between four walls. And I think we let people share the pictures in the social media as they want, and we didn't restrict sharing our wedding videos. So,
Yeah, and there's
yeah.
quite a spotlight on you, and that's kind of how I discovered about your relationship. But let's talk about how it all began. How did you two meet?
I think we both have a different version of my story and his story. So my story is like I was with my then boyfriend in Bangalore. It's a different city in India, and we were at this pre-pride party, and he came and told me I'm cute. And then like we tried meeting for a couple of times, but it was not happening due to various reasons. Then one night he called me up for an ice cream date. He used to live in a different city that time.
Were you single
Uh,
at that time? I'm assuming that you were ready to move on, or what was going on? Just to
I was going
clarify.
I was doing my breakup phase with my then boyfriend.
All right.
So he asked me for an ice cream date. So I thought, okay, let me go meet this person who has come from other city. But then by the time I reached the spot we agreed to meet, he got assaulted by some mobs and he was all bleeding. So
Oh
our ice cream
God.
date turned into a hospital date. And but then I didn't even know his real name. He goes by a family name and he got introduced to me by his family name. So his document name was different and family name was different. So I wrote his family name in all the medical documents, and then like he has to call his another friend to help. But then next day, I simply messaged him to check how is he doing, and that changed everything. Like that message changed it to a deeper conversation where we exchanged feelings, where we exchanged secrets between each other,
Okay.
and
Like your
uh,
real name, maybe?
and that is my version of story.
Sham, what's
It's
your version?
almost, I mean, it's almost,
I mean, I'm
he's
sorry
almost.
you got assaulted. I hope you're okay.
Yes, he almost got to my version now after saying the story so many times. So yeah,
Yeah.
so my version is same. I was actually visiting Bangalore for my mom's treatment, and I was very tired. I thought, okay, let me get out and go up on for an ice cream. He was trying to chat with me for a long time. We had actually met earlier during Pride or film festival. We had met during film festival, and I thought, okay, let me meet this guy. I'm visiting this town, so let me meet him for a date.
But you
And
saw him originally at the pre-Pride party in
yes,
Bangalore. So what made you think this guy's cute? Like, why did you decide to go up to him? I'm curious.
he was dancing with like 3 to 4 people. He claims one of them were his boyfriends, and I
Export.
ex-boyfriend. So I thought he was cute. He was dancing very cute. So I just walked up to him and said, "You're cute." I just wanted to appreciate, and then walked away from there. I didn't even speak another word. I just said, "You're cute," and walked away. So it made him curious that, oh, who's this person coming and saying I'm cute?
Right.
I think that he exchanged the numbers before I walked out of the party, before the party closed, but he claims no.
He asked for my number.
I asked for it, so that's the difference in the story.
Okay, so now you're in Bangalore. What's happening?
No, we met in Bangalore. We
Okay.
live in Pune right
Oh,
now. It's
sorry.
been,
Yes. Hmm.
yeah, I've been living there for 11 years now. I think Ram is like
10 years,
8 to 9 years.
9 to 10 years
Uh,
now.
so he moved, he took transfer. We were in a long distance relationship earlier. I was in Pune and he was in Bangalore. Then he moved in. He was very interested in all the activities I did for the community, and he wanted to contribute. He started volunteering for the organization I run. It was a collective back then. It was not registered. And later, when he moved in together, and then we slowly registered it to be a non-profit, and we run a non-profit right now together.
Excellent. We'll get to that for sure. When did you guys realize this was something big that was leading toward like a long-term relationship?
You want to go?
So I don't have a date. He has different dates in mind, but I don't have it. I don't know. We were like in conversation continuously. We shared things like literally all the time, even between I used to work for corporates, and even between work, I would chat with him on WhatsApp, on different platforms. And I really don't know when it turned into, we started sharing things, anything happening in our life. We started talking about those things. And I asked him, I think in the conversation, casual, why don't you move? Let's live together. And I think that's how it changed. But I don't have a date. He has some date for it.
I think we were chatting, like he mentioned, during work hours or like after work hours. And then I visited him to Pune, like from Bangalore for a trip for a 3 or 4 days vacation. And then going back was very difficult for me. And after going back to Bangalore and then living there in a long distance was making life more difficult. So then I thought, why not like we initiate this into a live-in together relationship rather than a long distance. Then I applied for an internal job transfer with the corporate that I used to work, and then it happened, and it all fell in place together. So then that's where like he said, like I don't have a date,
Right.
but we think somewhere in the March or April of 2015.
So when did the topic of marriage come up and how did the proposal happen?
To be very honest, we both don't believe in the institution of marriage. We wanted to celebrate each other. We wanted to celebrate our relationship. We wanted to tell everyone that we are not a phase. We are not just little bit more than friends. We wanted to prove all these thoughts that came into people's mind, but at one point of time, they might break up or separate, or it might fade out. So last year we got an opportunity to visit Germany for the AIDS conference, and then at the same time, just before our visa application, a friend of Sham visited from Denmark to India. So we were having breakfast at a place, and then like we were sharing this travel plan, and he came up with this thought like, why don't you come visit me in Denmark and get married? So we already had this plan of visiting him in Copenhagen during our trip. And then then this thought of like, okay, let's just try so that it becomes like a legal document for us to have it as an evidence at some place where, even though if it is not recognized in India, but we can try out something that can initiate this process.
Yeah.
So then we applied for the application to marry in Denmark, and then again, like everything fell into place together.
The thought also came because once I had jaundice and I was supposed to get admitted in a hospital I didn't realize it had been long time and I had jaundice and I didn't realize. And when I went to the hospital, they asked me to get admitted, but they would not admit me because I didn't have any relatives around, parents around, or anyone, and they wanted a guardian who was a blood relative in Pune where I lived. So they were not accepting Ram as a partner or someone who was taking care. So I had to travel back to Bangalore. But my sister lives in Bangalore still, so I had to go back to Bangalore to get treated. So that also made me feel some document to prove them that he's someone is very important in times of medical emergencies. And we were also making a lot of investments together, and we were very scared that what happens, how do we prove, even if it is not recognized in India, it could be a document that we could use for fighting that we are together, and if something goes wrong to someone of us, that the other one has to get access to all the things that we are building together, kind of thing.
That's a
Those
valid
reasons I
concern.
thought, yeah.
Yeah. For the protection of your relationship, for your health, your finances, all the legalities. Um, However, in October 2023, the Supreme Court of India declined to legalize same-sex marriage. And two of my previous guests on my podcast from the United States, Parag Mehta and Vaibhav Jain, were part of that class action lawsuit, actually. And so if you haven't listened to that episode, I recommend that you do. But despite that ruling, you got married. Aside from the legal reasons, why was it important for you to get married?
Again, like I mentioned, we wanted to celebrate our relationship, and both of us, irrespective of coming out to my family or to the society. My mom always had this thought: at some point, I'll change my mind, I'll change my sexuality, and then get married to women. Maybe after marrying, still she is insisting on that thought that maybe one day I will get married to a woman. So I wanted to put a end for all of those things. Along with celebrating our relationship, I wanted to prove all of them that Sham is my life partner, and we both want to live together and together. That is one reason we both wanted to get married, and also we got legally married in Denmark and came back and did the celebration in India because while we got legally married there, we still missed out our families and friends around. There was a amount of loneliness that we are getting married, but we are not celebrating it. So we wanted to do that celebration with everyone back home, like every other people get married in India do.
So he means to say to celebrate it with all our friends. When we got married, then we felt like the enjoyment or the fun of that was missing. It was just going somewhere dressed well and signing a paper and coming back. It didn't feel like
It didn't feel like an Indian wedding.
it feel like an Indian wedding. Like how everyone celebrates together, everyone comes together, and they really enjoy the union. And sometimes in Indian weddings, these are the only times you meet all your family, close friends, and they take out time to come and be with you on that day. And that's what was missing. And a lot of people felt missed. They said, "Oh, why didn't you tell us you were going to do this in Denmark?" So how do we bring all of them together? We couldn't go and do it separately each time with each friend. So we thought, let's do a small celebration in India.
Right.
And also the reason was that like I said, I come from a Christian background. There was also a lot of um, I would say disrespect, hate towards my lifestyle or towards who I am, very discreetly. So I also wanted to prove that it's not the Bible, it's not the thing, and all of whatever gay marriages that they've seen in online or through social media has mostly been Hindu marriage. So I wanted to make sure, prove them that it's not just. So some of my relatives are priests, some of my older cousins are priests. So they were like, a lot of them didn't turn up and they didn't even let other relatives come. They give them the clause, is this allowed in Christianity? These are the tone that they told some of my relatives. So they didn't turn up to the wedding. But it was a point to prove to them there is a priest, which means it is okay to do this. How did the priest come and do this? And it is not that the Bible hates us, it is you as a human hates us. It's not the Bible, is what I wanted to also prove. And similarly, there were people who always thought gay men are just for sex, they are together for sex or things like that. So that was the other difference that we wanted to hide. So when we did even the Hindu way, I'm sure a lot of Ram's relatives gave us more importance than they gave us before um, we got married. So there was a lot of this thing of, oh, they're just having fun of their life went away, and they're serious about the relationship is what the idea that people got after we got married.
Yes. And I love what you said on your Instagram in your post. Our wedding was more than just a celebration of our love. It was a testament to the belief that love knows no boundaries. Excuse me. And it's never religion that discriminates, but humans. We hope our journey can be an example for all, proving that unity and acceptance are always possible. And I think you've done just that. But you also got married during Pride Month. Why was that important for you?
I think this Pride Month was difficult for not just people in India, but across the world with what happened with US, Trump. I should say more. So we thought, let's not let it not just be doing some corporate activities just to go off it. Let's make it better. Let's make it grand, at least for our family, friends around. And so we thought, let's do it. That was one of the reasons. The second reason, we were delaying every time that, oh, we'll do it next month. We'll do it next month after we came back from Denmark. We thought if we just keep delaying, it is never going to happen. Let's do it now. That was the second reason that we chose the month, I would say. Yeah.
Excellent.
I could add if there is something.
One other reason also was like the Denmark wedding happened on the same day of his birthday, which
Oh,
he did not like. So we tried for applying for a different date, but that is the only possible date that was available with the open slot in Copenhagen. Otherwise, we had to apply with a different office there. So he wanted a different wedding
Yeah, I didn't want to
anniversary.
share my
He
birthday.
doesn't want to share also with the wedding anniversary going forward.
Yeah.
So then we, like he said, we also wanted to complete it before his birthday arrives. So we kept pushing it later. But
right.
then uh, let's do it this month.
Okay, well, from the Instagram videos that I've seen and your posts, there were many ceremonies and a mix of traditions. And I love it. I felt like it was like a huge Indian wedding, which most are. How did you decide on which ceremonies and rituals to include that were symbolic for you too, especially given the two religious backgrounds?
So it actually looks, the videos and pictures are taken in a way it looks really grand, but we did it in the budget that we could fit in it. We just made sure we did it in. I would say we were lucky enough. We had our own. So the NGO had a small cafe that was run, so we used that cafe space to do some of these things. So that way it looked grand, but we made it look grand. I would say we made it in a way that looked grand. Um, we also most of the ceremonies, I wanted it to have something and it also have some fun with it, not just do it for the while we're doing it to show certain things or create certain message. We also wanted to have some fun while we are celebrating ourselves. So some of the ceremonies he chose, some of the ceremonies were something I chose. So
So like we had Haldi Mehendi Sangeet, which is very common in the region that we live in. So we try to include that while my religion or like my side of family doesn't follow that at all.
we both come from South
Yeah,
India, but we live in West.
West
But
India.
so we don't celebrate Mehndi and things in South. But we did it because we also live in
To
Maharashtra. Like,
accommodate the regional fun things that they do while we're having a wedding. But one thing that stood out was I wanted to have a Hindu ceremony, and my mom told if I'm marrying a girl, like I would do certain things and then like get married. So at the last minute, she came and told, anyways, you're getting married, so why don't we do all these things and then like get you married? So that stood out for me, and I wanted to include that even though we did not get a Tamil Pandit to do the ritual.
Okay.
We told the Pandit that we want to do certain things, and then like he was able to accommodate that. And that one thing I wanted to have in my wedding, and which happened.
Yeah,
Excellent.
I also wanted to have a Christian part of it because I wanted to, like I said, I wanted to prove a point that that this can happen and it's not the religion, it's people. So that's why I made sure I find a priest who is inclusive. We found, luckily, I would say we found a lot of priests who were ready to do it. It was not just one. So yeah.
That's great. So it wasn't difficult to find someone to marry you then.
I think we assumed it's going to be difficult, but when we asked around, we also posted it on social media that we're looking for someone, and that's how we got people reaching out saying that we are happy to support and things. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, you say on Instagram, from building a home to building dreams together, we've shared a decade of love, laughter, and life. As gay Indian men, our journey wasn't always seen for what it truly was. Despite our families knowing us, loving us, and watching us grow together, we were seen still as just friends. So, on our 10th year of relationship, we decided to change that narrative for them, for us, and for everyone who ever doubted queer love. We celebrated our love the Indian way with haldi, mendi, sangeet, Hindu, and Christian wedding rituals, reclaiming every tradition and rewriting it in our truth, which I love that you did that because love deserves celebration and a home is truly ours when it's built on pride, partnership, and unapologetic joy. So, I mean, this describes exactly what I saw and I felt. Honestly, when I was watching the videos and the pictures, I felt like I was at your wedding. So, thank you for including me. But no, I just wanted you to know the way it's impacting me personally, and I'm sure many others, to see that celebration and to feel your joy and to witness it was truly an honor. But how did the conversation go with your families when you told them that you two were more than just friends and that you wanted to get married? Like, how was that conversation?
I think both our families know each other for a very long time now. So it wasn't that difficult for us to
No,
uh,
actually, I don't have. I lost my parents during COVID, so
I'm
I
so
don't know how
sorry.
it would have been in case
Mm.
I had to inform them. Um, Ram had to talk to his mom for sure. He
yeah.
can share.
Yeah. So I spoke to my mom. My conversation for the Denmark wedding was a little more than what I had to do now. Because she didn't understand what is going to happen. She had all these questions and curiosity. Is it even allowed here? Like even for this wedding, she had this question like, what if the cops come in trouble? What if some people come and attack you both that you're doing something against the culture of India, like they call it? So then I had to explain her that this is not something new that we are doing. It has been happening across the globe in India as well. Sent her some references of other weddings that has happened in India. But then I also told her, like Sham said, most of them has happened in a closed space with no much publicity. But I want to take the step of going out and loud and showing it off to everyone so that others get encouraged to do more such weddings.
To be honest, we were also scared sometimes. What if between the wedding, um, some kind of mob comes up? It was not so easy to get the space organized. A lot of hotels denied. We were not sure. Even the ones we found, maybe it was too expensive. We couldn't afford maybe like a five-star hotels, and those were little ready, but we can't afford those kind of places. It was quite difficult to find space to let this kind of wedding happen. I mean, I'm myself using the term this kind, which means people were giving us answers like that. Oh, this is something first time we have not heard. How can this? We are scared to do it. What if something happens? So these were the kind of answers we got. Finally, because we've been working in the city for long and running a not-for-profit, we had knew a lot of people. Through our connections, we could manage a place like this, which didn't ask us a single question. They're like, "Oh, because you're this person's friend, we'll give you." So these are the kind of words that people
Wow.
used, and we managed it somehow. But we were also scared till the end. What if something goes wrong? Till it got over. Yeah.
Yeah, and now your marriage has had quite the spotlight on you both. How are you handling all the attention?
So, it's always good to have attention. Um, there are also equally negative comments that has come up on both the social media. Earlier, we used to react to it and feel bad. It used to affect our mental health, but I think now we have grown a thicker skin for it. We are not bothered about the negative comments, like, because you're in a place where you're commenting. I'm in a place where I'm allowing you to comment. But otherwise, we both enjoyed the attention. Like, we also found it uh, very emotional that so many people have come and commented, showed their love and support for our wedding, which we were not expecting at all.
Yeah, and also I felt, I think I would have, it made me stronger. Initially, if there would be bad comments, we would feel little upset or things like that. But when we saw the other part of the comment, it was not just the other good comments or comments. I saw there were a lot of hopes in other people. Oh, we can do it too. In the comments, there were people who said they were in tears. There were people expressed that, oh, now they believe that this can happen. If someone has been there for 10 years, that means we can also have such. When we saw those comments, I think it encouraged us. So it made us feel like, oh, let those bad comments be. There are others who are getting encouraged by looking at what we do. So that made us more happy. And we felt like what we did the wedding for was also achieved, actually. That's the feeling that we got.
I agree. And I think your love is far greater than any negative comment anyone could make. But that said, some of these comments, like you said, are very hopeful and inspiring. And you've had a huge impact on the Indian queer community. Some of these comments include childhood me could never imagine seeing something like this. Two men in love, getting married, surrounded by family, tradition, and joy. You made that possible. Another comment reads, thank you for existing out loud, for loving openly, for reminding so many of us that we're not asking for too much, just the right kind of love. I mean, just like you said, these comments obviously sort of remind you again of why you really got married and the impact that you're having. You've instilled a lot of hope for many of the Indian queer community to see what is possible, and you too and your love is leading the way.
Thank you.
Yeah. What I want to ask, growing up, did you have any queer idols, people that you looked up to in the media, television? I mean, I kind of think I know the answer to this, but I want to know from your perspective in case I've missed something.
So I think we both are a little different. Maybe Ram got to read a little or know a little bit from the internet, but during my time, and I'm also from a very small town where I don't know, till my, I think, 10th grade, I did not have internet was very new, that was introduced at that time. So I didn't know what gay meant as well, or I didn't know what was homosexual. So only when I moved to do my higher education to Bangalore is when I would go to cyber center once a week, because it used to be very expensive, just once a week to check chats and thing. And that's how I used to know. We didn't read about it on the papers. I did not have much books to read about LGBTQ in general. I always thought I was the only gay boy that exists in the world. No one is like me. And so when I met the community in Bangalore was something eye-opener for me. I'm like, wow, there are so many other people like me and they do exist and I'm not wrong. So that was how it was for me. For Ram, I think he knew a little bit already.
I think I had access to computer and internet, so I could read a bit more about that. I'm not the only one in the world who is homosexual. So then, from the first organization that I joined, I had leaders who are um, uh, out and gay and like doing a lot of inclusive based events in the workplace that I'm working. So I think I took them as role models as
So for me, so I also worked for corporate first when I started, but those days there was no one out in the corporate world too. I think when I came out, though I was just a junior employee, I was taken as an example. Oh, this person is out. Oh, let's call him for all the conferences. I was always given that opportunity because those days no one was out yet when I came out. I mean, we are just not very old. I think 4 or 5 years difference, but there was so much change in just that 4 years of difference.
Yeah, a lot has happened in the last few years, but growing up for me, I don't remember seeing any queer actors in Bollywood or openly gay, actors. And this is going to sound like a bit of a rant, but we know that art has a huge influence of opening minds and seeing the world from a broader lens. It can change culture, challenge societal norms, and lead to social change. And for me, it feels like passive aggressive erasure of the Indian queer community, and not just in India, but worldwide. Because if you don't include us in your art, then it's like saying we don't exist. And I feel for you two, growing up in that culture, your only resources was the internet and joining these organizations and trying to find a sense of like, who am I in this big picture? Do I belong in this culture? How do I fit in? Are there others like me? And I guess what I'm alluding to is that it's still a very isolating experience for so many of us, especially for those who are growing up in countries like India. And when you look at the population of India, according to the Times of India, there's 10% of the population, which is around 135 million people, belong to the LGBTQI plus community. I mean, that's a lot of people, and many of them are still growing up in isolation, trying to feel, who they are, where they belong. So, what are your thoughts on the Bollywood industry and its complete lack of representation?
Do you want to take?
No, no.
I have I think it's mostly pinkwashing nowadays. When it comes to Bollywood, because if you see earlier days, there was very least representation or no representation, and then it moved on to a representation where it is either vulgar or derogatory kind of roles. And then it moved on to minimum representation with one or two characters. Now every movie or every series that you watch on OTT has a queer angle to it, or a queer character playing it. But that role is not being played by a queer person, or a trans role is not being played by a trans person, but it is played by uh, a
A cisgender.
cisgender person.
Right. And it's not
And
even a major storyline,
yeah,
it's a
yeah.
subplot. You're in the background.
Yeah.
I feel that is the only kind of representation that is happening right now, to just make money off the community, but not deliver the right message, or give opportunity to the community members who have the right talent.
Yeah,
Uh,
and I feel even if there are mainstream movies that are made, it's made in a very um, I mean, they show only the elite families to be queer. But the queer life exists in every kind of family, every kind of class, caste, religion. But when you see in movies, in Bollywood movies, it's only showed one kind. Oh, you're very rich. You're shown in an elite form, or they show you in a very um, comedy or a joke in the movie, like the way you dress, the way you dance, the way you walk. It's very I don't know why I forgot the word. Stereotyping queer people kind of thing.
Right.
A queer person should be this way. That's what to show. There are few movies, I would say very less, but they did not run very well on the screen. As soon as it's tagged queer movie, I don't think in India people go to watch. Recently, also, we tried supporting some movies, promoting it within the community, but people are scared to be seen in the theater. Even queer communities scared to be seen in the theater, thinking they will be outed. Why are they going to watch such movies? So those are the problems that movies that are made by small filmmakers and they're trying to really make a change don't get attention, actually.
Mhm. When I lived in India in 2017, and at that point, homosexuality was still criminal. It hadn't been decriminalized till a year after. And at that time, I was working for Deepika Padukone as her personal trainer, and so I got to see a lot of what happens behind the scenes and meet a lot of the people behind the cameras as well as in front. And I was so amazed at how many LGBTQ members work as hairstylists or makeup artists or directors and whatnot. It's infiltrated in the entire industry. And when I was there, it was Pride Month, and I remember mentioning to Deepika, "Oh, it's Pride Month. Is anything happening?" And she had no idea what I was talking about, and there was no mention of it. And this is just 2017. But then, as I was watching and reading some of your posts and how you had been attending Pride celebrations and how you two met, I thought, wow, there's been at least some change. So what is Pride like now in India, and how is that acknowledged or, celebrated, or, what part of the activism is still present, and what does that look like for you guys?
So I think, see, uh, pride for us, at least for me, means protest. Pride means being queer itself is political in the country that we live in, and we need to talk about issues, uh, be intersection. Like we need to not just talk. Queer issue is not a person coming to a pride does not leave his other identities out and come. He wants to be himself completely, whether he's Hindu, Christian, Muslim, or doctor, or teacher, or uh, or a Dalit, or any of these identities cannot be left behind and come to pride to just say I'm queer, I'm gay here. No, you're coming with all your identities. That's what pride means. But in India, the politics is changing. It's not before 377 was read down how we were all united. Right now it's all like the elite says keep your politics aside, come here just to celebrate being gay. I was like, no, that's not pride. I have to come there to be completely myself. If you see a lot of cities in India, maybe this has already happened outside India in the West, but it's happening now in India where prides are getting divided. There's one pride which is different, which is just for celebration. There's no message, there's no politics, there's no protest. You're not asking for anything. But there is another pride which is talking about more rights. There should be more rights. There's more rights for everyone. Everyone needs to be equally given. So I also believe in um, queer liberation is not we don't get liberated when one person is left behind. So we after 377 is read down, if you go to any trans right protest, there's no gay men at all. It's only few trans people standing there and protesting. Where are they now? Because when we fought for 377, all of them were with us. Trans people were with us fighting for it. So these are the changes that's happening. I think it's happening across the world. It's not just a problem in India. This is my view. I don't know what from.
No, I go with what Sham said, but one additional thing that I also notice is it is also happening in the organizations or the foundation that is working in India for the cause. Earlier, there was unity between the organizations that everyone worked together for the change. Now, if you're not a trans person, you're not. They openly ask like, why do you work on a trans cause if you're not a trans person? If you don't have a trans member in your organization, you're not invited for the discussions or the meetings that happens for the upliftment or the betterment of trans lives. So that kind of change has happened in the last few years. Uh, yeah.
Oh, and just to for our listeners that don't know, could you explain what 377 is, please?
Yeah, so Section 377 was an act that it was brought in by Britishers long time ago, and that was criminalizing any kind of unnatural offense, unnatural sexual offense, to be very clear. But it was mostly affecting only queer people because they knew that anything that is non-procreative, which means does not give birth, except penal vaginal sex, was considered criminal. In 2009, actually, first time Delhi High Court had given us a judgment when with two consenting adults could have sex, and it was free within their four walls. But it was again reversed back in 2013, and the law again was read down in 2000. I would say read down, not completely removed, because there was no other law that could protect sexual offense against men. This was the only law. So that's why they changed it to consenting adults. So it was again changed in 2018. Now again with the whole current government changing the law book, I don't know what's the situation of it. I think that does not exist at all. I don't know men are protected now or not. It's a little complicated. The new law, the book of law has changed now. It's called Bharatiya Nyaya something. I'm not sure. It used to be called IPC, Indian Penal Code. Now it's changed again. So
Okay, well, you two are definitely helping to lead the change in so many ways with your marriage, your love, but also your activism. You said that you are the creator of an organization called MIST, which is an LGBTQI plus foundation. Can you talk to us a bit about what is MIST and why did you create it?
So it starts with my story when I came out. Like I said, I already inherited half of the part of it that I thought I was the only one. There was no one like me there. I thought so when I first moved to Bangalore for my studies, and when I saw people like me, and everyone was still they would hang out, but it was very closed space. It was in their own circles, in their own life. So I wanted to create a space. A lot of us had left our families. I had left my family behind and come to Bangalore to study and do something different with my life. A lot of them who knew they were queer, they left their families and they worked away. So Bangalore was this corporate city where a lot of people moved to work. And I wanted to create a space that was safe for all of us, that we could be queer. So we didn't have a name those days. It was just a space where people came together, created safe space. A lot of them didn't want to come out, and I was always like enthusiastic, wanted to do something. And so I would always be the face of the organization and thing. So we started there in 2009 by just creating space where we could come and celebrate like family. We had all these created parents, like someone is brother, someone is sister, someone. So we had created like a safe space for the queer community. Like we would come celebrate Diwali, Christmas, Holi. That's how it started. It just started as a collective of people coming together to feel safe in their circle. And when 2013, the 377 was brought back, we wanted to do more than just coming together and celebrating. So we started doing freeze mobs suddenly between the streets and running away when the cops come to spread a message that we exist, love exists, and it's not just thing. So we went into the metro of Bangalore carrying placards. We were not allowed, so we had to hide it in our bag. So we started doing this small kind of activism just with group of friends and people around, calling people on social media and asking them to join us. This is how we started doing things, and that's how it grew into being an organization later on. Kind of.
And why did you call it MIST? Is that an acronym or does it stand for something?
No, so those days, I think when we named it, there was no Facebook or Instagram and thing. We used Blogspot. We had voting. We asked a lot of people to put in names. And we had one condition that it cannot be like any other name that all other Indian LGBTQ NGOs have. We wanted to be different, and we wanted it to have meaning. So we missed this foggy, unclear, always unclear. As in a queer community, you might be part of the community, but you always have something to learn. Like a trans person don't know what happens in a gay person's life. A gay boy don't know what's going on with a trans person's life, how much struggle they go through, what is their life. And I think it has been good for us having that name, because when I came out, I think I knew only LGBT, then it became LGBTQIA, and it kept growing, and we keep learning. And it's not a day that we would say we are perfect, we know everything about the community. There is a lot, especially being in India. We have a hijra culture. I don't know if so every part of India has a different culture. If in Karnataka, the hijra community celebrates their culture is very different from what happens in Maharashtra or Chandigarh. We recently learned there's a lot to learn. It's never ending kind of a thing. So that's the meaning of the name Miss. It's always unclear, always foggy. There's a lot to learn always.
Excellent. Yeah, we are constantly learning and evolving, and I'm sure MIST will, as well as your activism. Um, and Ram, you are the current national producer of the Mr. Gay India pageant show and vice chairperson of board of directors of Mr. Gay Universe. I
Yeah.
didn't even know there was a Mr. Gay India pageant or any gay pageant. So this was all like new to me and a sign of huge progress. And then, to my greater surprise, Sham, I learned that you were titled Mr. Gay India in the year 2020.
Yes, before
Uh,
we took the license of the organization.
I didn't name him.
well, this is great. Well, what was the intention for your involvement, and was this another form of activism?
Year I won, I couldn't go to the international pageant because it was COVID. And I had the title for 3 years. I didn't know, and I had made so many promises on the stage that I will change it, I'll make it accessible for people, we'll create more leaders. These were the ideas that we had. And Ram wanted to help me in the ideas I had, but the pageant was not taking place at all. It was 3 years, and I still had the title. There was no one else titled and after me. So Ram just wrote, I think, to the international pageant, "I'm happy to buy the license" or something, and they responded with a positive message, and that's how Ram
Yeah,
took over.
yeah.
It helped both what I promised on the stage for me to do it, and he also. I thought if I'm the winner and next year I'm buying the license would be conflict of interest, so I didn't want to do it. So he bought it. Uh,
That's amazing. But what
so
does
that
the pageantry involve, and what are the categories that you have to sort of qualify to win?
So it does not only involve beauty as only aspect like every other pageant. It also involves what kind of activism that the person is doing, what kind of change that person is creating in the Indian society or the global society. And we also like have other elements like the national costume round or the swimwear challenge or the and most importantly we have the social impact project, which they have to work on a social impact for a time period and then like present to the panel members who will evaluate the project based on the values that it holds. And they are also interviewed based on their knowledge of LGBTQI activism and the efforts that they have put in to create change. So it is a pageant with a purpose, I would say, uh, to create
more
change in
new
the
leaders.
society.
So we want to create more leaders. Like you, when you started this interview, you asked, you didn't have any role models to look up to. So we want to create those role models for the future generation. That's the whole idea that we want to. If you see 2 years ago, when after we took over the pageant, it was only two participants that we brought on the stage because we rejected a lot of people before they came on stage. After that, now today we are able to take almost 10 people on stages because we have been able to see that we've told the world that it's not just about your looks. It's not at all about looks. Anyone can come here if they have the passion to make a change and be a leader. That's the whole idea that we want to bring in now.
Well, that's so important, and I'm glad that you brought that up. And congratulations on the title again. Very well deserved. I mean, for all the work that you're doing. Beauty aside, I think that you guys both are leading the way to create change in India for the queer community. And Ram, I understand that you're also doing some work in the prevention of HIV, and including eradicating stigma and helping people live with it. Can you talk a little bit about that, please?
So I think it was a project that we both do while 2021 we started it
2020.
2021 we started it. We wanted to make HIV testing more accessible. So we got a project through one of the agency where we were able to give free of cost HIV self-testing kits to people who can test their status in a private space at their own comfort zone. Uh, what we also did was we made it very easy to access through a technical aspect. We created our website where people can come and just order the self-testing kit and then we courier it to them. They don't have to come to our center because most of the time people also feel like to go to an NGO which works for an LGBTQ cause or might also out them. Or they don't want to go to a government center to get tested. But the private testing are very expensive in India. So we wanted to break that. We created this platform where people can just come and buy the self-testing kit in a click.
Yeah,
Uh,
the whole concept also was like I said in starting Mist, when we started Mist, it was not an NGO. It was like people coming together and feeling like they're at a family. So while while the NGO run, we wanted the same feeling to be there. People are very hesitant to go to an NGO or to go to hospital and get themselves tested. So how do we change it? So if people think we are their family, people are so comfortable with us, why don't we start doing it? But when we start also, we wanted it to be accessible across India, not just the city we live in or we. So that's how the whole website. Ram was a software engineer, and I always created lots of random websites and abandoned them. So this I had a habit of buying domain names and just trying, exploring new things. So we bought a unique domain name called lgbtq.co.in, and that made it beautiful. We didn't just keep it for the NGO work. We let people come sell their merchandise. We put a lot of party. We put a lot of fun things. So people didn't hesitate to come there to buy a testing. Just it was free. They could just add it to their cart with other things that they're buying, and they could put it on this. So this was something that worked very well in our favor. A unique domain name and not a very NGO feeling site that they're accessing. They're going to access like a fun site, and nobody will question them. What are they doing there? So these are some things that made it easy for us to perform very well, and that helped us also create this initiative. We started doing prep. We started advocating for mental health. So there were different things slowly we started including in these things.
That's amazing. I want to wrap things up by saying I think you are leading the way again in so many ways for the Indian LGBTQI plus community through your activism, but more importantly, through your love. You have shown us all that love will lead the way. And Sham, I love what you said in your TED Talk. And that is, if you want to create change, then you have to be the change, and no one else is going to do it for you. That change comes from within us, and we need to take those steps despite the fear. And you two model that very well. Thank you both so much for joining me today. I'll have the links for Mist, your social media notes, your TED Talk in today's episode for anyone who wants to follow you and learn more. I recommend you check out all their wedding videos and photos. They will for sure put a big smile on your face. You will experience the joy that I did when you saw this celebration, and may there be many more. Shyam and Ram, may you always be blessed. May your love continue to grow deeper every day. May your love continue to lead the way, to open the pathway for others to love freely and without fear of judgment. May you both always be happy and healthy, and may your home and lives be filled with joy and abundance always. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was a long list of wishes. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome. I'm Farhan Dalla. Thank you for taking the time to listen to today's episode of Elevate Your Life, a transformational podcast. I hope today's conversation has elevated you in some way and inspired you to connect, move, and meditate. I'd really appreciate your support by following and rating this podcast. Come back soon and join me for another transformative conversation.